The shadow represents everything we refuse to acknowledge about ourselves that nonetheless impacts the way we behave. That's intense. It's true, but it's very hard to let in because the shadow is the thing we have been spent so much time trying to cover up. This creeping fear that something's wrong with us, that we're fundamentally flawed. That's very hard to begin to let in. That maybe it's there. It's very hard. But as this thing says, it impacts the way we behave. Whether we face it or not, whether we go and look for it or not, our shadow is there. And unless we can begin to find a way to gently go into it and explore it and to kind of get it to come out of the shadows and talk to us and find out what's really going on. It always remains like that, hidden, but then does come out sideways. So we think we're doing things with the best of intentions, and God love us, we are. But then things go terribly wrong, or we discover that maybe our good intentions weren't as good as we thought. We had an agenda. We were up to something. And that's awful. We feel terrible when it all becomes clear just what we were up to. So the more we can actively begin to engage with our shadow and be open to it, it helps us not act out of it, act from it, have it impacting our behavior unconsciously. But it's not easy. It's not easy at all, because it really confronts this feeling of, no. I'm not getting into that. I'm not entertaining the possibility that I kind of take dark pleasure in things not working out for other people. Oh my God, I couldn't. No. That's not in me at all. Probably is, we all have it one way or another. Doesn't mean it's all of you, but you're kind of identifying a little bit of your unconsciousness. And unconsciousness is not who we are, for sure. But if it's there, it's not going to change unless we can get it out of the dark and love it a bit and help it to kind of transform into consciousness. Just be in the darkness there going, God, I really crave my neighbor's car. I hate him that he has it. But I want it. I want it really badly. We don't say that stuff. We don't say that stuff even to ourselves. We're like, hi, Bill, love the new car. That's what we say. We get into our car and we're fuming, And unless you can kind of acknowledge that, you can't begin to laugh about it. The silliness of it all. We are a bit silly. We're a lot silly. But unless you can acknowledge it, that's really what shadow work is about. Is about going, yeah, I can't stand Bill. Can't stand Bill in his car. Bastard. Hate him. Unless you can really let that up, it's only when you can ventilate it a bit and it can come up and dissolve away, then you can kind of, you'll still maybe have a little smattering of it, but nothing like the turmoil that it causes inside, because you wave at Bill and then you get into the car and you're like, you get a little glimpse of it and then you're playing ping pong with yourself all the way to work. I hate Bill. Oh my God, I couldn't dare. I do not. I love all my fellow man. No, you don't. You hate Bill. Hate Bill and his car. No, I've sweetness and light. I heard it on a podcast that my sweet nature is beautiful. Yeah, but you still hate Bill. And ping pong back and forth and you're trying to squash it down all the time. No, that's not who I am. It's like, yeah, it's both. You've got a bit of unconsciousness, like everybody else, where you can't stand Bill and his car. And I'm just using that as an example. It could cover everything, you know, unless you're willing to hear it, it'll just stay suppressed. So it's very difficult work getting into your shadow and requires huge compassion on your part for yourself to be able to just be kind and go, yeah, I really would love Bill's car. It's beautiful and I'm so frustrated that I don't have it. And I really liked my car until he bought his new car, and now I hate my own car, which I used to like. So I hate him even more now, just because I'm like that. So to kind of hear it and to let it talk and go, yeah, tell me all about it. And in doing that, you're loving it. You're loving that part of yourself. And that is transformative. That's what changes it, is you being able to hear it kindly and to let it be. Makes a huge difference. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And I don't underestimate how difficult it is. It is tricky work, but it's so worth it. Because your shadow ends up hurting people that you love. And then you'll just feel worse than ever, you know, because much more energy then will be required to squash all that down, you know. So that's one of the reasons to bother going into it, is because down the track you're just going to feel better, because you're not going to hurt people and perpetuate that cycle of, you know, look, I hurt somebody, so I am terrible. You know, you're not terrible. It is your nature is sweet and pure and beautiful and lovely, of course, but we've all got unconsciousness, you know, so we're like these little suns, you know, except instead of the sun, it's the mystery. We've got this little bit of the mystery in us, and then around us we have a bit of unconsciousness, and we spend our whole life refining this unconsciousness into consciousness. So we make more consciousness in the world. It's all beautiful. So kind of when you know that that's the process, then you can kind of go, well, let me have a look at this unconsciousness that I've got, that I chose to take on to work with. And let me pick through it and see what I can do with it in a kindly, loving, compassionate way, knowing that you're pure and beautiful and everything on the inside, and it's where that comes from, the capacity to transform it into consciousness and to do the difficult thing. And I'm rooting for you.